Hello, welcome to Johnson Praise TV. This is your digital classroom. So this video is all about INFS111 Pasco review. I'm going to solve 250 D2D2 questions with you. I have titled it D2D2. If you take your time and you go through everything, I'm very certain that you can overcome your exams IE challenges. So follow me as I delve more into these questions. Because the questions are many, I will not spend much time in each question as I've been doing all the time, and I'm not going to spend more than an hour on the 250 questions. So I just have to read and give you the answer. So please pay attention to everything. So let's get started, and please share the video to your friends. Like the video. Your friend, if your friend has not heard of this, share the video to him or her and encourage them to also watch. It's good to benefit with your friends, not don't benefit it alone. So I also drop the link under the comment section, so you can follow to my WhatsApp channel where you have access to all my video links. So now let's get started. Number I'm starting from 210. So we start from 210 to 461. That's why it is 250 questions. So forget about the previous one. That is the first, second, third, and fourth. I think there are about 5 or 6 different videos. That is from number 1 to 210. And so that video is there, but I think most of the questions are here, but not all the questions are in this one, but some of the questions, I can say 50% of the questions are here, but there are some questions here that are not in the previous videos. Do you get it? So it's good that you follow this one, and if you have time you can check the previous videos, the episode you can check the episode 1, episode 2, and episode 3. But let's now get started with this. So it says 211, to resolve uncertainty and have value in decision making, denote A, information, B, knowledge, C, wisdom, and then D, data. So the answer is information. Because information is what used to resolve uncertainty and also have value in decision making. So it is information. Let's go to 212. Dash is the kind of information that everyone can get access to within the normal requirement of law. The options are A, public domain information, B, personal information, C, private information, and D, national information. The answer is public domain information. So when you are doing information studies, the best thing to do is to keep the keywords in your mind. You see, this one is talking about is a kind of information that everyone can get access to within the normal requirement of the law. So at least you can keep a keyword like everyone can get access to. So if a question come like this and you get this keyword in, then we know we are talking about what? Public domain information. Public domain information also represent PDI, public domain information. Let's go to 213. Equia visited her friend, and upon reaching the gate of the house, she smelled sumptuous meal emanating from the kitchen. Choose among the following which best describes how Aquia got to have the information. A, gestatorily. B, tactily. C, olfactorily. D, visually, and E, aurally. So the answer is what? Olfactorily. So olfactory has to do with what? The sense of what? Smell. When you sense something, you smell something, it is what? Olfactorily. There are daily 5 different senses. We use our 5 different senses to what? To get interacted with information, or we have what? Our daily encounter with information, which include what? Gestatorily, tactily, olfactorily, visually, and aurally. So when you say aurally has to do with what? Let's take it from what? Olfactorily. Olfactorily has to do with the essence of what? Smell. Tactily has to do with a sense of touch. Okay, touching someone. Visually has to do with what? You visually seeing something by sight. That is visually. And then if you say gestatorially also has to do with taste. Okay, and then um Olari also has to do with I think I've forgotten that one, but when I remember, I will tell you along the line. There's something like that. So at least you would remember them. Number 214. Museums and information system are all institutions that handle information. The answer is true. It's true. They handle information. 215. 215. As follow are retrieval tools. A. Media center. B. Registers. C. Search engines. And D. Bibliography. So all of them are retrieval tools except registers. Register is not what? A retrieval tool. 216. Information scientists and information and system analysts are all classified to be A. Information brokers, B. Curators, C. Educators, and then D. Information professionals. The answer is information professionals. 217. Dash also is an example of shrinking of content in the public domain. It's when dash. So we are looking at what example of what shrinking shrinking of content in the public domain is when what copyright restriction limit reuse of older works. So it is what when copyright restriction limit reuse of what older works. The answer is what C, not the rest of the options that have been stated. The answer is C. So when you get a keyword like shrinking, then you know we are talking about copyright restrictions. 218. The economic strength of an information society is mostly driven by A. The use and exchange of data as a resource. B. Increased export of printed materials. C. Reduced need for formal education. And D. Widespread reliance on oral tradition. So the answer is what? Widespread what? Reliance on oral tradition. So the economic strength of an information society is mostly driven by the widespread reliance on oral tradition. Number 219. The shift from oral to written communication historically arose as a result of what? A. Desire to preserve information across generations. So that is the answer. It's not what the inability to master foreign language or a reduction in societal memory capacity or the extinction of drumming languages, but the answer is what? A desire to preserve information across generations. Number 230. When an individual uses taste or smell to make decisions, then they rely on what we call what? Non-verbal communication channels. The answer is what? D. So we have what? A. Objective feedback loop. B. Technological sensing. C. Cognitive messaging, and then non-verbal communication channels. So it is what? Non-verbal, because when you sense and taste something, it has to do with what? Non-verbal communication cues. Number 231. An increase in an internet access without a corresponding increase in digital skills may result in A. A persistent digital divide. B. Reduced need for information loss. C. High national data usage rate. And then D. Decline in mobile broadband penetration. The answer is what? A. That is persistent digital divide. Number 232 is a trial question. So let's drop it under the comment section. It says that information is generally described in the context known as what? So drop it under the comment section. I'll mark it. I'm always online, so if you drop it, I'll see. So 232, what is the answer? So you only rewrite 232. If it is data, you write. If it is information, whatever you think it is, just drop it there and then we'll see. Number 233. Dash is what? Dash is is what? Is a point. So a dash point uses to what? To source of term in a material. So a point uses to source of a term in a material. So A, index; B, classification; C, catalog; and D, bibliographic material. So the answer is index. So index point uses to the source of a term in a material. That is the index. Number 234. That is the process of composing the message to be sent. It is called encoding. Encoding, not feedback, not decoding, and not receiving. The process of what? Composing the message to be sent is called encoding. Number 235. That is the process of trying to understand the sent message. Okay, this is also called decoding. Or you try to understand the message that a person has sent to you is called decoding. It is not feedback or receiving. I've already explained what encoding is to you. Let's look at 236. The following are categories of information professionals except A, editor; B, creator; C, information consultant; D, information banker. The answer is information banker. The information banker. We don't have information banker, but rather information broker. So that's what makes it what? Wrong. Number 237. Public libraries, unlike academic libraries, does not provide internet access. True or false? The answer is false. Do you get it? Public libraries provide what? Internet access. There's what? Internet access. That's why we call it what? The poor man's university. Because if you are poor, you don't have money to buy data, to buy the devices. You have device and data, everything there. So that is why we call it poor man university. Number 238. The age of information can cause a problem with the information. The age of information can cause a problem with the information source. True or false? The answer is true. Okay, if the age of the information, you have exam tomorrow and your lecturer don't tell you, and you wait another day, he tells you that he uploaded a work and exams and it has expired, because it has what? There's a problem with that. Do you get it? So it can cause a problem with that. Number 239. Dash use what? Dash use are concept driven from document. A, abstract; B, filing rules; C, information companies; and D, computerized information system. This is called what? Abstract. Abstract use are what? Concept driven from what? The document. They are the abstracts. Do you get it? That's the abstract. Number 240. These depict electronic format of storage facilities, excluding A, computer hard disks; B, internet; C, open shelves; and D, databases. So it depicts what? Electronic format of storage facilities, except open shelf. Open shelf is not in electronic form, but all of them are in electronic format. Number 241. 241 says that this deals with the distribution of information for individuals or groups of people, or groups of people. A, communication; B, dissemination; C, acquisition; and D, selection. The answer is what? Dissemination. Dissemination deals with what? The distribution of information for individuals or groups of people. Number 242. The presence of drum language and scarification in pre-literate societies reveals the dependence on A, digital codes; B, symbolic non-verbal systems; C, formal education; and D, alphabetic encoding. The answer is what? Symbolic non-verbal system. So when they use drums and then scarification, that is the tribal marks, it shows what? Non-verbal systems. Non-verbal system. Number 243. When a message is correctly delivered but leads to no change in perception or behavior, the most likely cause is what? It's what we call effectiveness barrier. So it's not technical noise, not semantic distortion, not cognitive overload, but it is what? Effectiveness barrier, where the person's what, how do you call it? how do we put it? The person, it has to do with the person's perception, and then his reaction towards the message. That's the effectiveness barrier. In the modern economies, industries built around content creation and data management reflect on A, pre-industrial service expansion, B, a knowledge-based economic structure, C, a resurgence of oral information systems, and then D, legal dominance over creativity. The answer is what? A knowledge-based economic structure. A knowledge-based economic structure. Number 245. Tools like cataloging and indexing are introduced in libraries primarily to what? A, promote writing in native language. B, organize and enable efficient access. C, prevent censorship. And D, limit excessive downloading. So the answer becomes what? Organize and enable efficient access. So tools like cataloging and indexing are introduced what? To promote writing in and to what? To organize and enable efficient access. So let's proceed. Number 246. Influential level of noise is also known as effectiveness barrier. So this was what? This can be in a form of feeling. So you look at the spellings of effectiveness barrier. So that is it. So you only write it. You don't have to go and explain what effectiveness barrier is. Just drop it. Information studies, and it's just like mathematics. If the answer is 2, just write your 2 and go your way. You don't need further explanations. Yeah. So number 246. The level of information that has caused concern in the number of areas. So it is what? Is this one to they have omitted a certain word and they want you to put it there. So the level of information diffusion has caused concern in a number of areas. So information diffusion. Number 247. Information pyramid represent dash, in which information developed from symbols, data, information, knowledge, and finally acquisition of wisdom through knowledge. This is what? The continuum. So look at the spellings. CONTINUUM. Continuum. So what? So the information pyramid represent a continuum in which what? Information develops from symbols, data, information, knowledge, and finally acquisition of wisdom through knowledge. Number 248. Dash is normally described as a poor man's university. That is what? Public library or public library. So let's look at 249. This is a good use by one individual. A, social good. B, private good. C, merit good. And D, collective good. So it's a good used by one individual. What is the answer? Drop it under the comment section and let me see. So the answer here is a private good. 250. Paralytic paintings are representation of what? Female figures. They are represented. So these ones, they are difficult, so I don't need to mention the rest to confuse you. So I just have to give you the answer direct, so you don't get confused with it. So they are representation of what? Female figures. Number 251. This is the prohibition of distribution, circulation, or display of work by a governing authority. So it's what? It's a prohibition of distribution, circulation, or display of work by governing authority. This is what we call what? Censorship. This is where they delete some part of someone's work or ban it totally, maybe due to some legal constraint or whatever. So that is censorship. Number 252. This deals with the transmission of information to individuals, group of people, organizations, devices, and etc. Anywhere in the world. This is what we call communication, not dissemination, not acquisition, and not selection. But this is what? Communication. It deals with the transmission of information to individuals, group of people, organizations, devices, anywhere in the world? It's what? Communication. Number 255. COPPA is an acronym for Children's Online Protection Act. Look at the spelling. That is A, Children's Online Protection Act. So if they give you this acronym, you are to provide a full meaning of it. COPPA. Number 254. These are factors that discourage reading for pleasure in Africa, except A, predominance of written culture in Africa. B, lack of book buying habits. C, foreign-based content of book. And then D, social factors such as housing. The answer is predominance of human written content in Africa. If you say these things discourage reading, yes, all of them what? If all of them, because there's nothing like predominance of what? Of written culture in Africa. Africa, we dislike written culture. We like the oral tradition more than anything. So if you say that is very dominant in Africa, you are lying to us. It's not true. Africa, our culture is oral tradition and not written culture. It's the white that like the written stuff. Number 255. Information is created through the following means, except A, painting, B, composition of music, C, theater production, and D, vendors. The answer is vendors. Painting, you create information through that. Composition of music is the same. Theater production, all of them, information are created there. But vendors, they don't create information. All right, number 256. Oracle-born inscriptions was discovered in the year 1899. 257. The Sumerian writings preserve the following, except A, complex records, B, Gilgamesh epics, C, Code of Hammurabi, and D, hieroglyphics. The answer is what? Hieroglyphics. Hieroglyphics is not part of the Sumerian writings. All right, the number, okay, let's move to number 258. This is a collection of books, journal articles, graphics, newspapers, and other materials in digital format. Pay attention to this keyword. In digital format, then the options are A, reciprocity, B, digital library, C, collection development, D, archive management. The answer is what? Digital library. So you see something in a digital format, then we are talking about digital library. So you don't need to keep all the definition in your mind, but the keyword will remind you of the concept you are talking about. The Africa Information Service, that is so the IC, IC, there's a full meaning for that. Is what the African Information Society Initiative. African Information Society Initiative. So they're asking you of the full meaning of AISI. It is what? African Information Society Initiative. IC. Number 260. The following involves the analysis of information, except A, cataloging, B, database industry, C, indexing, and then D, abstracting. The answer is database industry. It is not what? It's not part of the analysis of information, but the rest are part of what? How we analyze information. 261. This is an internal factor that puts forth the need for IC, that is African Information Society, what do you call it? I've forgotten. Initiative, right? So all of them are, we have internal and external factors. So which of them is not what? Say what is an internal factor that put forth the need for it. So let's look at it. It says what? It says A, 400 years of slavery. B, huge debt burden. C, unequal terms of trade. And then D, gross abuse of human rights, including murder and torture. So the answer becomes what? A gross abuse of human rights, including what? Murder and torture. All of them are what? They are external factors. But when you say gross abuse of human rights, including murder and torture, this is an internal factor. Do you get it? So that is why D is the answer. 263. It's a class of subset of policies in general. In other words, information policies deal with some component of the production, organization, retrieval, and communication of data or information within an enterprise or a country. So which concept are we defining? E, information policies. P, right to information. C, law and statute. And then D, information management. The answer is what? Information policy. Information policies. Number 263. The Wright brothers invented aeroplane in the year 1903. 1903. Number 264. This is selection. This is deletion of part of published works. A, label. B, copyright. C, intellectual freedom. And D, censorship. The answer is censorship. When it has to do with deletion of part of or deletion of the whole version of the book, it is what? Censorship. The excision or the deletion of a book or something is censorship. Number 265. Just as GLA, that is Ghana Library Association, is a library and information personnel. Okay, it's a library and information personnel. But GBA is to what? When you say GBA, that is Ghana Bar Association. So Ghana Bar Association is to what? Lawyers. GLA, Ghana Library Association, is for what? For library professionals. But GBA is for what? For lawyers. That is for lawyers. That is Ghana Bar Association. Number 266. 266. There are two types of agriculture information needs, except A, scientific information. B, so it says what? These are types of agriculture information needs, except A, scientific information. B, social information. And then we have please a minute. And then we have C, legal information, and then none of the above. The answer is what? None of the above. None of the above, which is what? The answer. So number 267. The Egyptian Book of the Dead was written around 1240 BC. The Egyptian Book of Dead was written in the year what? That's 1240 BC, the year just before Jesus Christ came. So the next one, it says that 268 says that reading has the following advantages, except A, monetary values, B, social values, C, intellectual values, and then D, moral values. So the answer is what? Monetary values. Monetary what? Values. Number 269. Interwoven with the ideas of intellectual freedom is the concept of what? It is the concept of censorship. It is what? It is together with what? The concept of censorship, intellectual freedom. Intellectual freedom has to do with what? It goes with censorship. 270. Digital libraries possesses these characteristics, except A, they can be searched. It's true. They can be accessed from anywhere. That's true. C, they can all be copied using electronic means. That's also true. So the answer becomes D, which is what? They do not need electronic device to be accessed. Right. Let's go to number 271. The first typewriter was invented by W.A. Best. W.A. Best. Number 272. These are challenges in the use of ICT in Africa, except high rate of literacy. So you see, look at all the challenges. Let's see. B says that poor telecommunication services. That is true. It's a challenge. C says that low electricity generating capacity. That's true. Then D, inadequate of maintenance facility for ICTs. That's also true. But when you say high rate of literacy in Africa, we have what? High illiteracy rate and not high rate of what? Literacy. Number 273. Examples of real-time monitoring systems, including the following, except A, medical application, B, pulse oximetry, C, thermometer, and D, needles. The answer is what? Needles. All of them are parts with the exception of needle. 274. The first organized library was the dash what library? A. Greek library. B. Alexandria library. C. Plato's library. And then D. Romans library. The answer is Alexandria library. Number 275. Cellular phone was conceived in the year 1947. It came in the year what? 1947. That is the phone. It came cell phone. It came in 1947. 276. These are transient to human beings. A. Ethic sources. B. Moral. C. Values. And then D. Digital device. So ethic sources are transcendent to human beings. So it is what? Transcendent. So the answer is A. Ethic source. Ethic what? Sources are transcendent to human beings. 277. Samuel Morse invented the telegraph. He invented the telegraph. 278. The creation and distribution of information from a discernible and dash pattern. So A. Repetitive. B. Linear. C. Overload. And then D. Timely. The answer is what? Repetitive. So this is what? So let's fix it in. So the creation and distribution of information from a discernible and repetitive pattern. That is what? That is it. Let's go to number 279. The use by one individual does not lessen the amount available to others. This is called what? A collective good. This is not private, not merit or market good, but it is what? A private good. The use by an individual does not lessen the amount, okay, available to others. 280. This was a standardized Chinese script in 221 BC. That is what? Xin Huangdi. It is the standardized Chinese script in the year 221 BC. The following gives the characteristics of a profession except A. A body of theoretical and specialized knowledge. It is true. B. No code of ethics. C. A service orientation to client. That is also true. And then D. A set of what? Applied techniques for practice. That's also true. So the answer is what? B. That is no code of ethics. So professional organization, one of their main responsibilities is to develop code of ethics. So if you say no code of ethics, you are wrong. Number 283. The heliographics was developed by the Egyptians. It was developed by the Egyptians. 284. www came in 1991. 285. The full cost of information can be seen in the total cost of production and A. Access to the information. B. Price of the information. C. Ownership of the information. And then D. Importance of the information. That is what? The access to the information. So the full cost of information can be seen in the total cost of production and the access to the information. That's A. Number 286. Bronze. The bronze inscriptions date back to, that is 1000 BC. Bronze inscription dates back to 1000 BC. So 287. The problems associated with human movement of messages are as follows, except what? A language barrier. So let's look at them. When you read all the options, when you say transmission of signals over short distances, true. Time consuming process is also true. Difficulties in sending complex messages accurately is also true. But language barrier is what? It's not a problem associated with human movement of message. Number 288. At the apex of the COVID-19 in Ghana, the president delivered a number of nations addresses. In it was seen at the bottom screen of a lady interpreting the speech into sign language for such people to understand it. It establishes dash nature of information. A. Transformative. B. Gesturally. C. Tactily. And then D. Modernity. So is what? The tactily nature of what? Information. Okay, but it's between two. That is what? Transformative and tactily. But I think it established a transformative nature of information. means information transform. So okay, okay, so somebody may decide to go for with A and someone, but I'll have to check my time. But if you have time, also check it well. 288, take your time and check it well so you don't get it wrong. Number 289, microprocessor came in the year 1971. It came in 1971. Number 290. So the question that I answered before, I read before the last one. Okay, just check it, and it's a trial question. Do it as a trial question. I'm not certain about the answer, so check it yourself. 219, paralytic paintings are found in the caves at what? Chavred Pondiac, which is B. 291. 291. Dash is the process of identifying the right material from the abundant materials that have been searched already. This is called selecting. Number 292. CIPA stands for what? CIPA stands for Children's Internet Protection Act. That is D, Children's Internet Protection Act. 293. Copyright has made libraries develop conventions. True or false? It's true. It's true. Number 294. Equalization of information are seen in the following, except A, formal education, B, deposit libraries, C, direct payment to individuals, and then D, creation of information. So the answer is creation of information. Equalization of information include the following, with the exception of what? Creation of information. 295. Dash involve the proper keeping of information storage media to prevent deterioration. This is called preservation. So if you come across a keyword like what? To prevent deterioration. Deterioration is called what? Preservation. Number 269. That is the freedom and the right to think without government interference. It's called what? Intellectual freedom. Intellectual freedom allows you to think without what? Interference from the government. Number 297. That date back to what? 2200 BC. It is called what? It is called 1200 BC. Okay. Well, this one, go and search it. Okay, this one I'm giving to you too as a trial question. Let's go to 290. If I say I'm to do it right now, it will take my time. All right, so let's go to 290. I think I solved it in the previous video, so no problem. That's why I'm not worrying myself. I've solved it, so you can check the previous video. Number 294. FEPA stands for what? Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. Pay attention. Family Educational Rights, not only right, but rights. S. And Privacy Act. That is what FERPA, FERPA, stand for Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. 299. Signals were sped up using the following, except A, smoke, B, semaphore, C, flag, and then D, none of the above. So the signals were sped up using all the following. He used all the signals, okay, so it is none of the above. They were all part of it. 300. Number 300. In Ghana, the emphasis on copyright is on what? Books and music. The emphasis is on books and music. Number 301. Environmental systems are used for the following, except A, public toilet, B, motion detectors to trigger automated flashing, C, farmers monitoring moisture to trigger irrigation system, and then D, polygraph. Answer is polygraph. It's not part. 302. Fax machine was made in the year 1843. Number 304. Alexander Bain developed fax machine. He developed fax machine. Number 305. WIPO, that is WIPO, stands for what? It stands for World Intellectual Property Organization. World Intellectual Property Organization. Number 306. Copyright law of 1985 was the PNDC law. Okay. So which of them? Okay, so which of the acts? It was the PNDC law 110. So the copyright law of what? The 19 the 19 copyright law of the 1985 was the PNDC law 110. 110. So that's the answer. That's the answer. Okay, so let's go ahead. Number 307. 307. The Dutch library is a type of library that serves the needs of the citizen of a country regardless of personality. This is called what? Public library. Public library, regardless of your personality. It's not academic, national, or special library, but it's public library. Regardless of your race, whether you are fair or black, you can still access it. Whether you are Kusasi, Mosi, Hausa, Dagati, or Asante, you can still access it. Number 308. Secondary scientific and intellectual literature was published in what? 5 languages. It was published in 5 languages. If you read the slides, you see it. Number 309. Modern systems are formal and dash based and technological based. Modern information systems are what? Are formal and technological based. Number 310. The main solution to facilitate the process of a PDI is what? It's called the libraries. When you say PDI, that is public domain information. So the main solution to facilitate that is what? Public libraries, because for the public to access the information that they need, when you establish more libraries, it will give them the data. It will solve every problem with devices, network, and everything. So when they go there, they have everything that they want. 311. The source of information becomes a problem when it does not meet the following: except A, valid; B, partial; C, reliable; and D, consistent. If the information is what? The answer is partial. The source of information becomes a problem when it does not meet what? This criteria. If it is partial, it does not meet the criteria. So let's look at number 312. 312 says that indexing and classification can be classified in to be what? Artificial language. To be artificial language. Indexing and classification, not natural, not multilingual, not computer. So UNESCO is what? It's an international association. So we have A, national; B, regional; C, international; and D, local. The answer is what? International. 314. Bilateral agreement. Communications among unions such as the European Union, African Union, among others, show dash rule information plays. It shows what? The political rule. It's not what? It's not relationship rule, or not economic rule, or not or what? Or entertainment rule, but what? A political rule that information plays. The laws of access to traditional information when others pass is a direct result of what? When it is the direct result of what? Reliance on memory of our documentation. That is C. So A says what? Intergenerational differences. No. B is what? Censorship of oral records. That's no. And D is a colonial influence on language. No. The answer is what? Reliance on memory over documentation. So when the elderly dies, he goes with the information. 316. A country with excellent mobile broadband yet low internet storage may be facing A, hardware saturation; B, global access fatigue; C, sociocultural access barriers; and D, technological overproduction. The answer is what? C, that is sociocultural access barriers. 317. When information becomes meaningful through interpretation, it is what? Better described as sorry. When information becomes meaningful through interpretation, it is what? Described as A, symbol; B, data; C, information; and then D, knowledge. So it is what? Knowledge. 318. Automation in job sectors due to increased digitalization is an example of A. Information transparency. B. Technology-driven job loss. C. Civil participation. And then D. Cultural influence. The answer is for technology-driven job loss. Technology-driven job loss. 319. One's activities daily may involve transforming dash from what, from one format to another. So one's daily activity, the questions they has been framed wrong. So one's what daily activity may involve what, transforming information. So the answer is what, information from one format to another. 320 rather. Question 320. The following are security applications except A. Motion detection, B. Polygraph, C. Home alarm system, and then D. Online electronic cardiography. This is not a security what? It's not a security application. Online electronic cardiography is for the heart and for surgery and stuff. So it's not a security application. Number 321. This is what? Applying restraint after the publication of the material. This is called what? Punitive censorship. Punitive is done after what? After the book or the whatever, the music or whatever is published. Then they go through and realize there's some mistake or there's some challenges to it, may cause issues to the society, so they will censor it or they will take it out. That is what punitive. But before, when the work is even deleted or the work is prevented before publishing, okay, at the early stage now, then they prevent you. This is called preventive. 322. UNESCO stands for what? When you say UNESCO, what does it stand for? UNESCO stands for United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. Let's go to number 323. FEPA. What is the full meaning of FEPA? This one we have done it. So drop it under the comment section. 323. Drop it under the comment section. What is the full meaning? What is FEPA? FEPA. Number 324. The following involves the analysis of information except A. Cataloging, B. Database industry, C. Indexing, and then D. Abstracting. So which of them? Analysis of information include all the following except what? We have done this. We also drop it 324. If you have been following, you should be able to provide the answer for this. So the answer is what is there? Is B. Let's go to 325. B is database industries. 325. This involves building the profile of an information user and providing him with relevant information in his field of interest in anticipation of need. This is called A. Selective dissemination of information, B. Communication of information, C. Acquisition of information, and D. Selection of information. This is what? Selective dissemination of information. That is SDI. That is it. Is when you go to social media, you see they normally give you automated kind of content that you prefer based on your preference and choice. That is called selective dissemination of information. 327. Two potential roles of government including fostering development of information and equalization of access to information. So the answer is what? Is B. And equalization of access to information is B. Let's look at 328. Information can be used in for national development in the following except A. Natural resources, B. Development of human resources, C. Scientific and technological advancement, and D. None of the above. The answer is none of the above. It's not easy. I'm tired already, but I'll still go ahead. Or since morning, I started this thing around 11, compiling all the I did that a day, and it took me like 4 hours to compile the questions. Solving the questions also took me more than 4 hours. And numbering it before recording a video, which will take us like an hour. It's not easy. So sometimes when you say I should record a video and I tell you that I don't have time. Some of you will be thinking maybe it's not easy. It comes with a whole lot of the whole of today. I've ignored everybody, including my parents and everybody. I've not picked even a single call, because if I try to pick call, I will not be able to do all these things for you. So we'll do our best, but it's not all the courses that I can help. 329. Libraries are permitted to have some form of biases when dealing with people. Is false. The answer is false. 330. This is enshrined in the Constitution of Ghana under Article 21, Section 1, Clause of the 1992 Constitution. This is what? The right to information. Right to information is enshrined under in the Constitution of Ghana under Article 21, Clause 1 of the 1992 Constitution. So HIPAA stands for what? When you say HIPAA, HIPAA, HIPAA stands for Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. Number 332. MS-DOS, that is MS-DOS, and IBM PC came in the year 1981. It came in 1981. 333. The following are the purposes of copyright, except A, to restrict creativity, B, to ensure that creators are paid fairly for their work, C, expression of the personality of each creator, and then D, allow creator to profit from their work. The answer is what? To restrict creativity. Copyright rather promote creativity and not to restrict creativity. Number 334. The first ICT revolution was seen in A, computers, B, writing, C, trains, and D, telephones. The answer is what? Writing. First ICT revolution has to do with writing. 335. A private good denotes a private good does not deplete by use. The answer is what? False. The answer is what? False. Okay, so sorry, the answer is true rather, because when you look at this, is what? Public good does not deplete by use. So if you say a private good does not deplete by use, is what? Is true, because this what the answer is what? Rather for this is what? For collective good or public good instead, and not what? Private. You see, if so private good does not, it is what? Sorry. So it's private good, so it's false rather. The answer is false. Private good does not deplete. It's rather public good, not private. So that's why it's false. 336. In determining the value of information, this is the amount one is willing to pay for the information in the marketplace. You see, the moment you see willing to pay for in the marketplace, we are talking about apparent value. Exchange value. Sorry, the answer is what? Exchange value. So it's called what? Exchange value, not value in use, not merit value or apparent value. Is exchange value. So I can do what? Is willing to pay at the marketplace. Number 337. Information is a commodity because it can be sold and be bought. So the answer is what? C, can be sold and bought, not preserved, not stored, and not bargained. It can be sold and can be bought. 338. Information we come into contact with are those we consciously know. It's false. Any information, according to Persley says any information you know is not information. So it should be something that you shouldn't know. So answer is for 339. The oral tradition is limited by the following, except A, non-reliance on human memory, B, dependence on age, C, developing mistakes over time, and D, dependence on age. It is all the option with the exception of E, which is what? Non-reliance on human memory. It is what? It relies on human memory. So if you say non-reliance, it is false. 340. That is increasing the state of knowledge of a particular receiver. A, data, B, information, C, knowledge, D, wisdom. The answer is what? Information. It's increasing the state of knowledge of a particular receiver. 341. The following are setbacks that can restrict information access except A, information tsunami, B, manual information system, C, cost of information, and then D, good management of information. The answer is what? Good management of information. Number 342. Information exists in the following state when no communicated. It says what? Information exists in the following when no communicated except, the question is not put well. So except what? Yeah, so the information exists in the following when not communicated. It exists in the following. If you do not communicate it, it is dormant. A, yes, it's true. B, passive, it's true. D, no value, is true. But if you say information is still active when you have not communicated it, it is what? False. So it is what? Active. Number 343. The economic in the economic environment, all other sources are contingent on dash and knowledge for their worth and usage. So A, information, B, relationship, C, political, and then D, entertainment. So the answer is what? Information. So let's fix it in. So in the economic environment, all other sources are contingent on information and knowledge for their worth and usage. So that is it. Is A. 344. Dash is regarded to be complete when the sender and the receiver understand each other. Communication is regarded to be what? To be complete when the sender and the receiver is regarded to what? To be complete when the sender and the receiver understand each other. Do you get it? So it's what? Communication. Let's look at number 345. A teacher revising instruction material based on the library users challenge is practicing what we call what? A, semantic filtering, B, proactive feedback adaptation, C, regulatory compliance, and then D, public censorship elimination. The answer is what? Proactive feedback adaptation. So a teacher revising instruction material based on the library users challenge is what? Is practicing proactive feedback adaptation. 346. If a research paper include a complex terms unfamiliar to the average reader, it may be hindered on A, legislative restriction, B, physical infrastructure, C, semantic barrier, and then D, institutional policy. The answer is semantic barrier. Semantic is also known as what? Language barrier. So it's what? Semantic. Okay, so 247. Information plays a critical role in dash of entertainment. So information play a critical role in the sphere of entertainment. So because of time factor, I'll only mention the answers for you and I'll mention all the other options for you so you can check through. IFLA represents what? IFLA is what? Is an international organization. So you look for the full meaning of IFLA. 349. That seeks to find out what people buy and reason for use of specific services. This is called user studies. Number 350. The following are activities involved in information cycle except what? Deletion of information. Organization of information is true, correct. Searching of information and management of information, they are all correct, but deletion of information is not part. 351. Professional associations can be the following, except what? Race. We have regional, national, and then international, but race is not part. 352. The following characterize primary source of information except what? A, made available, made of latest available information. B, unrecognized sources. C, unfiltered original development. And then D, more easily and widely available. So the answer is what? D, more easily and widely available. So it says that when information becomes a key part in founding and keeping a political power base, it relies in what? A political structure. It relies in a political structure. 354. That is can be defined as the ability to request, arrange, and use information. This is called what? It is called knowledge. It's not wisdom, not data, not information. It's knowledge. 355. One of the core reasons for multilingual publishing in academic literature is to what? A, comply with international citation. No. B, avoid information loss during translation. No. D, standardize content globally. No. But C, improve accessibility across language group. Is true. So improve accessibility across language group. 356. In the Shannon and Weaver communication model, the key element ensuring understanding is what? Is feedback. Feedback. Answer is feedback, not encoding, not distortion or reception. Is feedback. 357. The outcome of user studies in libraries often what? Informs decision on what? On the resource acquisition. So the outcome of user studies in library often informs decision on what? Resource acquisition, not language policies, not historical research, and not infrastructure development goals, but it is what? Resource acquisition. 358. When a government classifies defense data for 3 decades, it operates under what? The oath of secrecy. To operate under the oath of secrecy. That's C. So number 359. Modern information systems are dash and technological based. They are what? Formal. So you type formal, just like that. Don't explain. Just type it like that. 360. These are cost in information, except A, production cost, B, overhead cost, C, profit margin cost, and then D, sales cost. The answer is sales cost. It's not part. 361. He is considered as one of the renowned censors of Roman Empire, as he is called Cato the Elder. Cato the Elder. He is one the renowned emperor. How do you call it? Censor. 362. ICT and information field is concerned with the following processes, except A, information creation and capture is true, B, information storage is true, C, information transmission is true, and D, information disruption is false. So the answer is C, is D. 363. ARPANET came in the late 1960s. It came in the late 1960s. 364. The following are types of censorship, except A, religious, B, political, C, moral, and D, government. The answer is government. We don't have government censorship. 365. Dash is the application of systems to ensure the management and control of information movement. So A, information device, B, information transmission, C, informatics, and D, info science. The answer is what? Informatics. C. The answer is C, informatics. 366. Dash is a consistent belief that a specific way of behavior is socially wanted to the opposite. So the answer is what? A, value. The answer is value. We have moral, ethics, and divide. The answer is what? Value. 367. Information can be an economic good. Information as an economic good means the following, except A, not depleted by use is true. C, the use of it benefit the entire society is also true. And then Simultaneous uses is also true. But if you say use diminishes value, it is false. So the answer is B. Use diminishes value. Number 368. Dash is the raw fact that have been sorted and communicated. This is what? A very simple. It's information, not data, not knowledge or wisdom. It's information. That's B. 369. Dash sources contain modified original information to meet the needs of specific users. This is called what? Secondary source. It contains modified original information to meet the needs of what? When you modify the original information, becomes what? Secondary source. Number 370. I did not know the iron was heated till I placed my hands under it. This person interacted with what? With information through tactily. He touched it and felt it. So he's tactily. Number 370. All but one is not a professional association. This is GLA, Ghana Library Association. B, GJA, Ghana Journalists Association. D, C, G, NAT, that is what Ghana National Association of Teachers, and they have GAA. GAA is not part. So the answer is GAA. 371. One of the characteristics of the activity of information is the dash, is the dependency factor. Dependency. So the answer is what? B. 372. Interacting with information through the sense of taste can be referred to what? Gestatorally. Gestatorally is what? When you interact with information using the sense of taste. 373. Dash is a stimulus that adds to one cognitive structure. It's what? Information. It's information. It adds what to one's cognitive structure. It's information. 374. Issues involved in the communication of information are the content and the language. And the language, that is D, not vehicle, not resource, not time, is what? The language. 375. Dash is a set of it is the act of removing part of news from news and the news bearing object. This is called censorship. The answer is censorship is B. When you remove part of a news or something, is censorship. 376. In politics, information can be used to achieve the following, except A, to influence voting patterns of the people, B, to make decisions known for economic purposes. This is not part of a political. So the answer is B, to inform public opinion and also to get support. They are all part, but exception of what? B, to make what? Different resources known for economic purpose. Number 377. Information regarding to the creation of products by a company can be described as what? A private information. It's a private information. Charlie, bro. So 378. Laws designed to protect intellectual work can also what? Can A, obstruct the free exchange of information. That's the answer. When they say eliminate the need of translations, encourage mass digitalization, or decrease the public domain access, it's not the answer, but the answer is to obstruct free exchange of information. 379. Disseminating health advisory through radio in the rural areas addresses what? A, visual feedback, B, linguistic accessibility, C, intellectual copyright, and then D, semantic neutrality. The answer is what? Linguistic accessibility, where you have multiple languages. So if it is radio in the rural areas, they use the language that their people understand. 380. COMLA stands for what? COMLA is what? It's an regional association. COMLA, COMLA, is a regional association. 381. African Information Day is designated to be celebrated on 9th November. 9th November. Every 9th November in Africa, we celebrate what? Africa Information Day. 382. The heliographic has what? Has three symbols. The pictograph, the ideograph, and then I think the other one too. They have three, and then informatics, something like that. So 383. The following are institutions that search for information material that can be acquired using the following, except A, library, B, museum, C, jobbers, and D, record management centers. The answer is jobbers. They are not part. They don't search for information. 384. The use by an individual does not lessen the amount available to others. A, collective good. B, private good. C, merit good. And D, market good. The answer is what? Collective good. Collective good. The use by an individual does not lessen the amount available to others. 385. The following reasons show why information policy development is needed in Africa, except A, shortage of qualified personnel, B, chronic lack of funds, C, weak or non-existent physical infrastructures, and then D, high awareness by African bureaucrats. The answer is high awareness by African bureaucrats. If there is an awareness, we wouldn't have even create information policy. So 386. USAPA stands for what? USAPA, USAP, that's United States of American Patriot Act. That is a United States of America Patriot Act. 387. COPA is an acronym for Children's Online Protection Act. That is what A. That is a Children's Online Protection Act. 388. These are costs in information, except A, production cost, B, overhead cost, C, profit margin cost, and D, underhead cost. The answer is underhead cost. It's not part of it. It's not part. 389. Dash is the type of information not created for public consumption. A, public domain information. B, personal information. C, private information. D, government information. The answer is what? Private information. Private information. 390. In the year 2000 and 390. In the year 2008, the total media usage of people was highest with what? The television. In the year 2008, television was what? The total media usage was television. That was what people used to watch by 2008. But now social media is on top of it. So 381. Information has now become synonymous to the air that inhaled in terms of its availability. It's true. 392. Information explosion is mostly seen or caused by the what? By the internet. Information explosion is usually caused by the internet. So the answer is what? C. Number 393. Government administrators are all producers of information. It's true. Government producers are all producers of information. It's true. 394. Information regarding to the creation of products by a company can be considered as what? A, public domain information. B, personal information. C, private information. And D, national information. So information regarding to the creation of a product is what? It's a private information. Private information. 395. Acquisition of information can be done through the following, except A, vendors, B, jobbers, C, subscription agent, and D, none of the above. The answer is jobbers. Jobbers is the answer. 396. Dash makes raw information created valuable. A, writing, B, painting, C, editing, and D, none of the above. This is what? Editing. Editing make raw information created valuable. So number 397. Due to the fast dissemination of information, there is no dash between the happening of a situation and it being known. So the answer is what? Time caution, not political structure, not validity or barrier. That's what? Due to the fast dissemination of information, there's no time caution between the happening of the situation and it being known. So 398. The environment where individuals rely on signals and memory for knowledge exchange typically reflect A, post-industrial innovation, B, pre-literary society, C, legal restriction zone, and then D, multilingual policy gap. This is what? The answer is what? Pre-literary society is B. 399. When a recipient fails to act upon received information, communication may be hindered by what? Effectiveness barrier, not technical, not multilingual or over dependence on symbol, but it's effectiveness barrier. 400. A person's low interaction with online resources due to Unfamiliarity reflects on what? Socio-cultural background. It reflects on the person's socio-cultural background. So 401. Gradual adoption of writing in Asian societies was developed primarily because of what? Because writing media was what? Was expensive and tedious. So the answer is what? B. The writing media was expensive and tedious, not feared by knowledge preservation, which is A is not part. Government limited record keeping, that is not part. Oral creatures resisted alphabetic system, so it's not part. But B. Writing media was expensive and tedious. 402. The gradual adaptation of writing in Asian society was delayed because of what? Okay, I've already done that. So 404, which is B. So 404, in the communication process, a breakdown in mutual interpretation of symbols leads to what? A. Redundancy, literacy. B. Miscommunication. C. Bandwidth failure. And then D. Verbal overload. So in the communication process, a breakdown in mutual interpretation may lead to what? Miscommunication. So 405, modem came in the year, it's a fill-in question, so it came in the year 1958. So 406, copyright restrict copying by libraries. True or false? Is false. They allow library to make reasonable copies, but it doesn't restrict them to copy. They can copy, but there are limits. 407, these are systems for producing, storing, sending and retrieving digital files. A. Manual information system. B. Information and communication technology. C. Information agent. D. Information revolution. The answer is information and communication technology, ICT. 408, this is good used by one individual is called private good. 409, the following are interactive systems except blogs. A. Blogs. B. Paper. C. Wikis. And then D. Computer games. The answer is what? Paper. 410, when advertising is used to influence the behavior of people, it falls under what? It falls under the economic environment. 411, that is protecting the privacy of sensitive information of individuals, firms, such as receiving financial support. A. Commercial confidentiality. B. Public domain information, that is PDI. C. Right to information. And D. Personal information. The answer is commercial confidentiality. Confidentiality. 412, personal information is always absolute. It's false. Your age, you may keep your age yourself, but your father or your mother knows. So if you say personal information is absolute, it's not true. Your money that you are hiding it from me, the bankers know about it. The sickness, the HIV and that kind of infection you're hiding it from me, but the doctors or people you have visited, the hospital you're going, they know. So personal information is not always absolute. 113, the PNDC Law 110 made provision for the protection of primarily the dash industry. So they made provision for the music industry. That's the PNDC Law 110. It made provision for the music industry only until 2005, where they revised it and they came up with what? Act 690, and they added other creativity into it. 414, that is the act of exchanging ideas among people via known of language. It's called what? Communication. And exchange of what? Ideas. If it has to do with exchange of ideas, we are talking about communication. 415. It says that information can be interacted in the following ways, except A. Tactily. B. Olfactually. C. Gustatorily. And then D. Sight. You may be thinking the sight, but the answer is B. Olfactually. Look at the spellings. It's olfactually has to be OLFACTORY, but they've made it OR, so it's wrong. It is not part. 416, increase telemedicine use And remote learning reflects society's movement towards technology enhanced public services. So the answer is what? Technology enhanced public service. So increased telemedicine use. And then and remote learning reflects society's movement towards what? Technology enhanced public service, not paperless digital um, enforcement or decline in oral language or global intellectual conformity. But the answer is what? E. Technology enhanced public service. 417. A publishing house releasing a digital version of a textbook without permission violates what? The copyright and intellectual property laws. So the answer is A. 418. Releasing public update about load shedding is engaging in what? Engaging in public domain information sharing. So if you release update on load shedding, it's what? Public domain information sharing. 419. If a research paper includes a complex terms unfamiliar to the reader, it may what? It may be hindered by what? Semantic barrier. So 420. Among the listed rules, one of the challenges that right to public access due to secrecy concern is what? Is government agencies. So among the listed rules, we see one of them, one so the one that challenges the right to public access due to secrecy concern is what? Publishers, librarians, government agencies, and then we have what? Research scientists. So the answer is what? Government agencies. 421. Copyright law is enshrined in the Constitution of Ghana under Law Act what? 690 in 2015 Act. Yes, so the 2005. Yeah, 2005 Act 690. So let's go to 422. Representation of information can come in form of what? A. Electronic data. B. Newspapers. C. Journals. And then D. Cabinet files. The answer is cabinet files. 423. This is when government holds back information from the citizen. It's called what? Political censorship. 424. Human voice as an instrument of technology for exchange of information goes back to 30,000 years. So it's B. 30,000 years. The first color desktop printer appeared in the mid 1970s. That is D. 426. Obstacle in agricultural information provision in Ghana include the following except A. Low usage of radio. B. Inadequate number of personnel trained in agricultural information. C. High level of literacy. And then D. Information revolution. The answer is what? This one we solve it is what? Information revolution is not part. Let's look at 427. All but one is not a professional association. This is what? We have GLA. We have solved this already. The answer we chose what? D, which is GAA, is not a professional association. 428. ALA, ALA, that is American Library Association, is what? It's a national association. That is what? Is national. That is A. 429. We are almost done. One feature of information as an economic good means it is easy to exclude individual from benefiting it. True or false? That is what? That is false. The answer is false. 430. Distinction between data and information in the pyramid structure hinges primarily on context and meaning. Context and meaning. The answer is what? A. Context, not quantity and storage, not shape and complexity or system and network, but it is what? Context and meaning. 431. Individuals' ability to respond effectively to receive information may be weakened by what? By familiarity with the sender, false, over reliance on former source, wrong, the use of what? This is what? The use of persuasive tone by the source is false. But the answer is C, which is what? Gap in infrastructure and understanding. So 432. One major shortfall of oral tradition in African societies is its what? Is it vulnerability? Vulnerability to generational loss. If you say dependency on visual accuracy, it's not. It's not. It's not a short for reliance on modern storage media. It's not a short for redundancy with the written history. That also not for that's also. But if you see vulnerability on generational loss, is what one of them. 433. So that was D. 433. Number 433. That is the application of the know-how one has for the benefit of society is wisdom. The application of know-how is what? Is wisdom. Number 434. 434. Problems of information access in Africa is seen in the following. Except A, lack of proper reporting by information professionals. B, the concept of confidentiality of information. C, lack of proper documentation. In the availability of needed technology. The answer is availability of needed technology. 435. This is the application of restraint before dissemination of material. It is called what? Preventive censorship. 436. That is the sole right of preventing the copying of physical material existing in the body of knowledge. This is called copyright. 347. Interacting with information through the sense of taste is referred to what? Gestatorally. 438. In the information cycle, the various processes are what? They are interwoven. That is A, not separate, not independent or non-related, but it is what? Interwoven. 439. Information can be interacted with through the following ways, except A, sight, B, touch, C, gestatorially, and D, tactically. See if you are not careful, you'll be thinking it's tactily, but it is tactically. So the answer is what? Tactically, which is not bad. 440. The following are all oral traditions, except storytelling. B, recounting of national and ethnic epics. C, theater, and then D, writing. The answer is what? Writing. 441. Commonwealth Office. ALA, that is American Library Association Office of Intellectual Freedom, 2007, define dash as an effort to ban, prohibit, suppress, proscribe, remove, label, or restrict material. The answer is what? A, label. B, copyright. C, intellectual freedom, and D, censorship. The answer is censorship. 442. Preference for television is a factor that discourages reading in Africa. True or false? Is true. 443. At the beginning of 19th century, I didn't number this word, but at the beginning of the 19th century, the following were prevalent, except paved roads. A, paved roads. C, no railway. C, B, no railway. C, telephone. D, no electric utility. So the answer is what? Paved roads. So at the beginning of 19th century, there was what? If you say paved, there were no paved roads, but no paved roads. So they said paved roads. So the answer is wrong. Let's go to 443. This censorship exists to censor obscene or profane material. This is called religious censorship. When it has to do with profane material, it's religious censorship. So the answer is what? D. 444. This may or may not be difficult to exclude other or non-players from the benefit of the good. This is called collective good. So 445. African initiative to manage information has been done by the following, except A, AU, African Union, B, UNESCO, C, ECA, and then DGLA. The answer is what? GLA. That's Ghana Library Association. The answer is what? D. 446. This is using actual value of information in the situation in which it is used by the individual. A, apparent values. B, Value in use, C, exchange value, and then D, merit value. The answer is what? Value in use. Value in use. 147. Goods, services, and people use the following except. So goods, services, and people use the following except: A, horsepower on land; B, wind power on water; C, walking; and D, railway. So those times they use all these things with the exception of railway. They had not developed railway by that time. 448. Personal information is always absolute. Answer is false. 449. I am associated with the first published record of original research. Who I am? It is called primary source. It's not secondary source, research source or basic source. It's what? It's primary source. 450. We are left with 10 questions more. 450. The Dash Library is referred to as a poor man's university. This is called the public library. Public library. 451. Two critical aspects of communication are information and feedback. Two critical aspects of communication are information and feedback. So for 452, I did not know the iron was heated till I placed my hands under it. The person interacted with what? With information tactily. Yes, that is tactily. 455. The user background and information seeking behavior can cause challenge to the information access. It's true. It's true. 456. This is the collection of books, graphics, and other materials in digital format. It is called digital library. 457. Professional codes of ethics include the following except A, intellectual freedom; B, equity of access; C, confidentiality; and D, professional subjectivity. The answer is professional subjectivity. So 458. So these are people who generate information in a more organized way. A, regulators; B, regulators of information; B, distributors of information; C, information producers of information; and D, keepers of information. That is what producers of information. That is C. 459. When advertising is used to influence the behavior of people, it falls under what? Economic environment. 460. This is an individual who attempts to destroy all Christian texts. His name is called Emperor Julian. 461. That's the last question. A person's low interaction with online source due to unfamiliarity reflecting on the social cultural background. So this ends the whole thing. So if you watch this video to an end, at least the 3 videos I've already released, I can say you have almost captured all the 3 videos and even added different questions. But if after this and you feel like you are not satisfied, try and watch the episode 1, episode 2, episode 3. I sent the link on my channel, or you can check my WhatsApp channel, or you can check it on my WhatsApp channel, or probably check it on that is YouTube. It is available. But please, this video, because of how the whole thing is, you can watch it over. It will help you. Do you get it? It's 251 questions. At least it's 50 questions you are going to answer in the exams. The IE was 50. This is also 50. So if you are fortunate, okay, it's because of you, because the whole day I've not done anything, but I have to sacrifice. That is how the whole thing is. So God bless you, and share the video with your friends. Make sure they watch before the exams. Thank you. God bless you.